Good evening. I'm still reporting on the economy. Wow, it's been a while since you've heard that intro, but I will be keeping up and will opine when there is an interesting development, as there is today. Yesterday, the Federal Reserve Chairwoman, Janet Yellen, openly opposed the stated policy of new President Donald Trump by saying the Fed was worried about the economy heating up too much. They were worried about inflation, so they would raise interest rates more quickly than planned before, up to 3 times in 2017 alone. Now remember, this is a Fed that only raised interest rates twice in the last 10 years in a failed attempt to support President No-Name Obama. In other words, if Hillary Clinton would have won the election, then the Fed would have continued with more moderate interest rate hikes, or none at all, as they did for President Obama. So let's get this straight. When the Fed raises interest rates, it is to worsen the U.S. economy. Why? When interest rates go up, what happens? There is less borrowing. So what do you suppose happens to the total amount of money in the U.S. economy when there is less borrowing? There is less money. And that's how the Fed justifies it. Oh, well, we're scared of inflation, so we'll raise interest rates. But what really is happening is a reverse Robin Hood effect. As the lending cycle bends downward and the economy begins to contract, more of us little people will go bankrupt. And guess what's next? The rich guys, flush with more cash than they know what to do with, will get to buy up a certain percentage of those assets for pennies on the dollar. But here's the bigger point. President Trump wants to make America rich again, and thereby great again. The Fed has a well-known Democrat bent to it. They will deliberately do what they can to stop Trump making America rich again. Is this what you really want? And the most interesting part is we know within a few months when these actions will start to take effect. 18 to 24 months. That's how long it takes interest rate changes to work their way down to we, the little people. And guess what's going to be happening 18 months from now? America will be in the final few months of our next by-election, where every member of the U.S. House of Representatives and 1/3 of the Senate will face re-election. All things being equal, in both the House and the Senate, that by-election has been projected to be horrible for Democrats, just as this last election was supposed to be good for Democrats, until the Trump effect kicked in. So the Fed is determined to come riding in on their money contraction horse and try to prove that Donald Trump's economic policies caused the coming mini depression, when they know darn good and well that they, the Fed, will have caused it by their interest rate changes. So that's the macroeconomics behind the Fed's announcement to try to minimize Trump's positive effect on the American economy. I mean, that should be sufficient to deport them all to our new penal colony, Antarctica. As Zero Hedge put it in a recent report, let's be clear, the Fed is now an actively political organization. We knew that Yellen's Fed was a left-leaning group, but this is truly incredible from an organization that claims to be neutral. But I'm betting on Trump and not the know-nothings in the Fed. I'm willing to bet that President Trump and his economics team have already accounted for this. Trump believes that the amount of money they can bring to the country from a combination of tariffs and the increase in our domestic manufacturing capacity that those tariffs will generate, along with a couple of $1 trillion of previously hidden offshore money that Trump can bring back home by simply lowering the corporate income tax rate, plus a massive infrastructure rebuilding program which he will implement, will more than offset the evil machinations of the princes of the debt money machine who sit in splendor inside the 12 Federal Reserve domains across the United States, as well as their headquarters building on Constitution Avenue along the National Mall in Washington. In short, I'm banking on our mantra of the last 18 months: Trump will be proven right again. And in the next by-election, Trump-endorsed congressional candidates, both Republican and Democrat, will score huge gains, perhaps bringing him a veto-proof 60-vote majority in the U.S. Senate starting in January 2019. I'm still reporting from Washington. Good day.